foods to prevent leg cramps in seniors. Leg cramps are one of the most common and painful problems many seniors face. But what if the answer isn't medication, but food? In today's video, we'll share with you the top 8 foods to prevent leg cramps in seniors, simple everyday choices that can help your muscles stay strong and your nights peaceful. So stay with us until the end to discover how you can ease cramps naturally. But before we begin, tell us in the comments below, where are you watching from? We'd love to know. Number 8, Greek yogurt. It may come as a surprise that research shows nearly 60% of American adults over the age of 65 do not meet their daily calcium needs, and almost half consume less protein than recommended. According to the National Institutes of Health, these two deficiencies are strongly linked to muscle weakness, increased risk of falls, and the nighttime cramps that so many older adults describe as both painful and frightening. Greek yogurt, a food that has been part of Mediterranean diets for centuries, provides a practical and scientifically supported solution. 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt contains around 10 grams of protein and 250 milligrams of calcium, along with a modest amount of magnesium. Protein is essential for repairing muscle fibers, which naturally decline with age in a process called sarcopenia. A landmark study published in the Journal of the American Medical Directors Association found that seniors who increased their protein intake to at least 1.2 grams per kilogram of body weight per day experienced better muscle mass preservation and fewer complaints of cramps and fatigue. Calcium, meanwhile, regulates nerve signals and allows muscles to contract and relax in harmony. A deficiency disrupts this rhythm, making involuntary spasms far more common. In 2015, researchers from the British Journal of Nutrition reported that older adults who consumed dairy foods rich in calcium and protein had a significantly lower risk of falls compared to those who did not. Greek yogurt, being both protein-dense and calcium-rich, represents one of the most efficient ways to meet these needs. It is also easier to digest than many traditional dairy products, making it particularly friendly for seniors who may have reduced tolerance to lactose. Stories from real lives bring these findings to life. In Provence, France, a 75-year-old woman named Claire began eating a serving of Greek yogurt with berries each evening on her doctor's advice. Within a month, she reported quieter nights and more comfortable mornings. She described the difference as waking up with my legs feeling light instead of heavy. In Iowa, a 72-year-old retired teacher named Robert struggled with leg cramps after his daily walks. By adding Greek yogurt with walnuts as a post-exercise snack, not only did the cramps ease, but he noticed improved stamina and recovery. His experience echoes clinical research, showing that protein consumed shortly after activity accelerates muscle repair and reduces soreness. For practical use, 1 cup of plain Greek yogurt each day is generally recommended. It can be enjoyed after exercise to support muscle recovery, or in the evening to calm nerves before sleep. Combining it with potassium-rich fruits such as bananas or with magnesium-rich seeds such as pumpkin seeds provides a well-rounded nutrient profile that directly targets the causes of cramps. For individuals who cannot tolerate dairy, lactose-free yogurt or fortified plant-based alternatives can be excellent substitutes. Beyond calcium and protein, Greek yogurt provides probiotics. A 2017 study published in Frontiers in Microbiology showed that probiotics improve nutrient absorption and reduce inflammation in the body. This means the minerals and proteins in yogurt are used more efficiently, helping muscles and nerves function at their best. The greater truth here is that nutrition is not only about preventing discomfort, but about creating resilience. Knowledge of how something as simple as Greek yogurt can strengthen muscles and calm nerves gives each person the power to make meaningful choices for long-term health. It is not fear that should guide those choices, but the recognition that even ordinary foods can protect independence and dignity. Every spoonful of Greek yogurt is more than just a snack. It is an investment in mobility, a shield against weakness, and a daily affirmation that age can be met with strength. The science is clear, the stories are real, and the solution is simple. Choosing Greek yogurt regularly is a way of living wisely, protecting the body faithfully, and reminding ourselves that health is built day by day, meal by meal. Number 7. Sweet potatoes. Few people realize that something as ordinary as a sweet potato can be a powerful tool against leg cramps. Yet this humble root, long cherished on American tables from the deep South to New England, carries a combination of nutrients that science now confirms as essential for muscle strength and nerve stability. When cramps strike in the middle of the night or after a long day, it is often not age alone, but an imbalance of minerals and energy that triggers the pain. Sweet potatoes quietly correct that imbalance. A single medium sweet potato delivers more than 540 milligrams of potassium, which helps regulate the flow of fluids in and out of cells so that muscles can contract and release without seizing. It also offers magnesium, which lowers excitability in muscle fibers and reduces the chance of sudden spasms, along with vitamin C that fights inflammation and supports circulation. Unlike processed carbohydrates, the slow-burning starches in sweet potatoes keep blood sugar steady. This matters because unstable glucose can interfere with nerve signals and leave muscles vulnerable to cramping. The research is clear. A 2018 analysis in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition linked higher potassium intake with fewer muscle complaints and stronger physical performance in older adults. Another study in Nutrients in 2020 confirmed that magnesium intake was associated with a reduction in the intensity of nighttime leg cramps. Sweet potatoes, rich in both minerals, become not only food but therapy. Stories of transformation illustrate what numbers alone cannot. In North Carolina, a 70-year-old woman named Margaret began eating roasted sweet potatoes 3 evenings a week on her doctor's advice. Within a month, she noticed her nights were less interrupted, and she regained the confidence to walk longer distances during the day. She described it not just as relief from cramps, but as a return to freedom. I feel like I have my legs back. In Wisconsin, an older veteran shared how baking sweet potatoes reminded him of the hearty meals of his childhood. The change in his diet brought fewer spasms, but equally important, it reconnected him with memories of family and tradition, turning food into both medicine and comfort. Practical application is simple. 1 medium sweet potato a day is enough for most older adults. Baking it in the oven brings out its natural sweetness without the need for added sugar. For variety, it can be mashed with a touch of olive oil, cut into cubes and roasted with herbs, or steamed and served alongside fish or lean chicken. Eating sweet potatoes in the evening may be especially helpful, as it gives the body time to absorb minerals that support overnight relaxation of the muscles. Sweet potatoes are neither exotic nor expensive. They are deeply rooted in American history, symbols of resilience and abundance, nourishing generations through hardship and celebration alike. Choosing them regularly is a reminder that good health is built from both wisdom and tradition. Each serving is more than nourishment. It is a small act of self-care, a way to honor the body's needs, and a step toward preserving independence. Sweet potatoes prove that healing does not always come from a pill bottle. Sometimes it begins with something warm from the oven, carrying both comfort and the quiet assurance that age can be lived with strength, stability, and grace. Number 6. Spinach. It often begins quietly, with a restless night. The legs tighten, the calf locks in place, and sleep is broken by pain that seems to come from nowhere. Many older adults assume this is simply part of aging, yet the truth is that most leg cramps are tied to something very specific: a lack of essential minerals, especially magnesium and potassium. Spinach, one of the most familiar vegetables on the American table, carries exactly what the body is calling for in those difficult moments. 1 cup of cooked spinach provides about 160 milligrams of magnesium and more than 800 milligrams of potassium. Magnesium is what calms the overactive muscle fibers, while potassium allows nerves to send signals smoothly so that muscles contract and relax with ease. Without enough of these minerals, the electrical system of the body becomes unbalanced and cramps follow. Spinach also brings antioxidants and iron, which improve circulation and lower inflammation, 2 hidden contributors to cramping and weakness. Research underscores its importance. A study in the European Journal of Clinical Nutrition reported that seniors with higher magnesium intake had fewer nocturnal leg cramps and slept more soundly. Another study published in the Journal of Gerontology showed that diets rich in leafy greens slowed the decline of muscle strength, allowing older adults to maintain mobility longer. These are not abstract findings, but practical truths that can change everyday life. Real stories make the science easier to believe. In Ohio, a woman in her late 60s began adding a handful of fresh spinach to her lunch salad after her physician explained her magnesium levels were low. Within 3 weeks, she noticed fewer nighttime cramps and felt steadier on her feet during her morning walks. In Denmark, an older man recovering from knee surgery made spinach soup a daily habit. He later described how it not only eased his muscle spasms, but also gave him the confidence to return to gardening, something he feared he had lost forever. Application is straightforward. A half cup of cooked spinach or 1 to 2 cups raw each day can make a measurable difference. It can be sautéed with olive oil and garlic, stirred into scrambled eggs, blended into a smoothie, or added to soup. When paired with vitamin C-rich foods like tomatoes or oranges, spinach also boosts iron absorption, further supporting blood health and energy. The taste is mild, especially with baby spinach, making it easy to enjoy consistently without strain. Leg cramps do not have to be accepted as an inevitable part of aging. They are often the body's call for minerals that can be supplied by something as ordinary as a plate of greens. Knowledge of this simple connection turns fear into action and frustration into relief. Choosing spinach regularly is not just a nutritional decision. It is an act of self-care and foresight. It is a way of saying the body still deserves strength, stability, and comfort. In each serving of spinach lies a quiet assurance that health is not lost with age, but renewed each day by conscious choices, bringing both peace of mind and freedom of movement. Number 5. Salmon. On a cool evening in Seattle, a retired teacher named Thomas sat down to dinner with his daughter. On the table was a simple plate of grilled salmon, a food he had often enjoyed in his youth but had neglected for years. At 72, Thomas had been battling painful leg cramps that woke him almost every night. His doctor suggested adding salmon twice a week, not as medicine but as nourishment. Within a month, the cramps had eased, and he felt stronger during his morning walks. For him, salmon was not just a meal, it was a return to comfort and steadiness. This story reflects a truth supported by science. A 3-ounce serving of salmon provides about 25 grams of high-quality protein, 450 milligrams of potassium, and powerful omega-3 fatty acids. Protein repairs muscle fibers, potassium balances fluids for smooth contractions, and omega-3 seconds reduce inflammation while improving circulation. Together they form a foundation that prevents cramps and promotes long-term muscle health. Clinical research confirms these effects. A study in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults who consumed more omega-3 fatty acids experienced improved muscle function and reduced inflammation markers. Another study published in Nutrients reported that sufficient dietary potassium was linked to a lower risk of cramps and better cardiovascular health in seniors. Salmon uniquely delivers both of these nutrients in abundance, making it a standout choice for older adults. Beyond science, salmon carries cultural significance. In coastal American towns, salmon has long been part of community meals, celebrations, and traditions. For many, it recalls family fishing trips, outdoor gatherings, and the simple joy of fresh food. This connection makes eating salmon not only beneficial for the body, but also nourishing for the spirit. In practical terms, salmon is easy to include. A serving of 3 to 4 ounces, enjoyed twice a week, is enough to provide meaningful support. Grilling or baking preserves its nutrients best. Pairing salmon with leafy greens like spinach or a baked sweet potato creates a balanced meal that supplies protein, healthy fats, potassium, and magnesium together. For those who find fresh salmon costly or difficult to access, canned salmon remains an excellent alternative, offering the same key nutrients at lower cost. Its nutrients guard muscles against cramping and stiffness, but more than that, the act of preparing and eating it connects body and memory. For older adults, food choices are never only about vitamins and minerals. They are about maintaining independence, strength, and dignity. Salmon embodies this dual-purpose science on the plate and comfort in the heart. To eat salmon regularly is to invest in freedom of movement, in the confidence to walk without fear of pain, and in the simple joy of meals that heal. Just as Thomas rediscovered strength through his dinner table, anyone can turn to salmon as a reminder that age does not mean surrendering vitality, but embracing it with wisdom and care. Number 4, nuts and seeds. One of the greatest fears among older adults is losing the ability to sleep peacefully through the night. The sudden jolt of a leg cramp, sharp and unrelenting, often feels like the body is no longer under control. For many, this fear becomes routine, a quiet dread that bedtime will bring pain instead of rest. Yet the solution may be found not in complicated treatments, but in something small, familiar, and surprisingly powerful: nuts and seeds. These simple foods are packed with the minerals most often missing in older adults. Magnesium, sometimes called the calming mineral, helps relax overactive muscle fibers, while potassium balances fluids and nerve signals, allowing muscles to contract and release smoothly. Just 1 ounce of pumpkin seeds contains 168 milligrams of magnesium, nearly half the daily requirement. Pistachios, almonds, and cashews provide both potassium and protein, strengthening muscle tissue while protecting against cramps. Research confirms these effects. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that seniors who consumed nuts regularly reported better circulation and fewer muscle complaints. Another long-term study from Harvard linked regular nut intake to lower risks of chronic disease and longer lifespan. These findings reveal what many overlook: small, consistent choices can create profound change in health and comfort. The human stories bring this truth to life. In California, a 72-year-old woman named Lorraine struggled with nightly cramps that left her exhausted each morning. On the advice of a nutritionist, she began eating a small handful of almonds and walnuts before bed. Within weeks, she noticed her nights were calmer, her mornings brighter, and her energy more steady throughout the day. Across the Atlantic in Italy, an 80-year-old grandfather began sprinkling pumpkin seeds on his evening soup. Not only did his cramps ease, but he described a sense of joy in reclaiming a food tradition he remembered from childhood. Practical application is straightforward. 1 ounce a day, about 20 almonds or 2 tablespoons of seeds is enough for most older adults. Timing makes a difference. Enjoying nuts in the evening can support overnight relaxation, while having them after activity helps restore electrolytes. They can be eaten alone, added to salads, or blended into yogurt and smoothies. Choosing unsalted or lightly roasted varieties avoids excess sodium, while soaking makes them easier on digestion. By embracing simple foods like nuts and seeds, older adults can shift from worry to empowerment, from restless nights to restful ones. Every handful is more than nutrition. It is a promise that sleep can be calm again, that steps can remain steady, and that health can be shaped each day by choices as humble as the foods that fit in the palm of your hand. Number 3, eggs. Let food be thy medicine, and medicine be thy food. These words from Hippocrates, spoken more than 2,000 years ago, hold a timeless truth that feels especially relevant today. For older adults who struggle with muscle weakness, fatigue, and the unsettling grip of leg cramps, the solution is often found not in a pharmacy, but in something as ordinary as an egg. An egg may look simple, but inside it carries a complete package of nourishment. One large egg provides about 6 grams of high-quality protein, containing all 9 essential amino acids the body requires for repairing and maintaining muscle. This matters deeply because age naturally brings sarcopenia, the gradual loss of muscle mass that increases the likelihood of cramps and weakness. Protein from eggs supports muscle recovery, enhances endurance, and reduces the frequency of painful spasms. The value of eggs goes beyond protein. Egg yolks contain vitamin D, which is critical for calcium absorption and muscle contraction. Many older adults in the United States spend less time outdoors, making vitamin D deficiency common. Research published in the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism shows that low vitamin D levels in seniors are directly linked to more frequent and severe leg cramps. A single egg supplies about 40 IU of vitamin D, and while this is only part of the daily requirement of 800 to 1000 IU, It provides an important foundation when combined with fortified dairy, fatty fish, or safe sun exposure. Eggs also deliver vitamin B12, a nutrient essential for nerve health. Low B12 levels, which often occur in older adults due to decreased stomach acid and certain medications, can cause nerve misfires that trigger cramps, tingling, or numbness. Research in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition confirms that seniors with adequate B12 levels experience fewer neuromuscular symptoms. By including eggs regularly, nerve pathways are protected, ensuring that signals between brain and muscle remain clear and steady. Stories illustrate these truths vividly. In Florida, a 70-year-old man named Richard had been waking nightly with cramps in his calves. On his doctor's advice, he began eating 2 eggs with breakfast most mornings. Within a month, he reported fewer nighttime disruptions and felt stronger during his daily walks. In France, an older woman recovering from hip surgery included soft-boiled eggs in her diet. She later shared that the simple habit gave her not just strength, but comfort, reminding her of meals from her childhood while aiding her recovery. Practical guidance is reassuringly simple. For most older adults, 6 to 7 eggs per week are safe and beneficial. Those concerned about cholesterol can balance intake by combining whole eggs with egg whites, enjoying the nutrients without excess. Eggs pair beautifully with vegetables, creating nutrient-rich meals that support both muscle and heart health. Enjoying them in the morning provides lasting energy, while including them in an evening meal supports overnight muscle recovery. This everyday food, often overlooked, protects nerves, repairs muscles, and restores vitality. Knowledge of its power transforms an ordinary breakfast into an act of resilience. Every egg is more than protein. It is a reminder that aging bodies still respond to care, still build strength, and still deserve nourishment that sustains independence. By choosing eggs with intention, the path to fewer cramps and greater vitality becomes not a burden but a daily opportunity to live with steadiness and grace. Number 2, bananas. At 71, Margaret from Ohio dreaded going to bed. Almost every night she was jolted awake by a sharp cramp in her calf, forcing her to sit up and massage her leg until the pain faded. Sleep became a struggle, and mornings left her exhausted. Across the country in California, another 71-year-old named David began his mornings with a banana and a glass of water. While Margaret battled sleepless nights, David enjoyed long walks at sunrise, rarely troubled by cramps. 2 lives, 2 very different experiences, shaped largely by a simple daily habit. Bananas hold more power than their modest appearance suggests. 1 medium banana contains about 420 milligrams of potassium, which is essential for muscle contractions and nerve communication. Without enough potassium, muscles become irritable and prone to spasms. Bananas also provide magnesium, calming overactive muscle fibers, and vitamin B6, which aids in neurotransmitter function and muscle recovery. This trio of nutrients creates a natural defense against cramps, particularly the nocturnal kind that disturb older adults. The science confirms it. A study in the Journal of the American College of Nutrition found that diets rich in potassium and magnesium lowered the frequency of nighttime cramps in seniors. Another study in nutrients showed that low vitamin B6 was linked to increased spasms and nerve-related discomfort. Bananas deliver all 3 nutrients in one convenient, affordable fruit, making them uniquely effective for preventing cramps. Margaret's story changed when her physician suggested she add 1 banana to her evening routine. Within 2 weeks, her cramps had nearly disappeared, and she finally slept through the night. She later said, "I never thought something so simple could give me back my rest." David, on the other hand, had discovered the same benefit years earlier by making bananas part of his breakfast. He paired them with oatmeal or yogurt, and he credits that habit for the steady legs that let him enjoy daily hikes in the hills near his home. The application is straightforward. 1 banana a day is usually enough for most seniors, while 2 may be useful for those experiencing frequent cramps or living in hot climates where electrolytes are lost through sweat. Bananas can be enjoyed plain, blended into a smoothie, sliced over cereal, or paired with a handful of nuts for balance. For those managing diabetes, Combining bananas with fiber-rich foods such as chia seeds or whole grains helps slow sugar absorption while keeping the benefits intact. Bananas are more than fruit. They are a symbol of how small, consistent habits create freedom. For Margaret, it meant restful nights. For David, it meant strong steps at dawn. For anyone willing to listen to the body's needs, it can mean the confidence to live each day with steadiness and joy. Number one, hydration. Among all the strategies to prevent leg cramps, none is more important than proper hydration. Food provides strength, vitamins, and minerals, but without enough water, even the healthiest diet cannot protect the muscles. Dehydration is the most overlooked cause of cramps, yet it is also the most preventable. For older adults who often drink less as their sense of thirst declines, the risk is especially high. This is why hydration must be considered the foundation of muscle health, the single most important food for keeping legs steady and strong. Water plays a central role in every muscle contraction. When fluid levels drop, electrolytes such as sodium, potassium, and magnesium fall out of balance. Nerves fire unevenly, muscles misinterpret signals, and painful spasms follow. Research published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society has shown that even mild dehydration increases the likelihood of cramps, fatigue, and falls in seniors. Another study in Age and Aging found that older adults who maintained consistent hydration had fewer muscle complaints and better overall mobility. These findings confirm what experience has long shown. Hydration is not optional, it is essential. Stories reveal the difference hydration makes. In Arizona, where summers are brutally hot, a 75-year-old man named George often woke at night with cramps so severe he could barely stand. His physician encouraged him to drink an extra glass of water at each meal and to include coconut water a few times a week for natural electrolytes. Within a month, George was sleeping peacefully, no longer pulled out of rest by pain. In Maine, where winters are cold and thirst is less noticeable, an older woman named Evelyn found relief when she set reminders to sip water steadily throughout the day. She described her new routine as a lifeline, saying it restored her confidence in walking without fear of sudden cramps. Practical application is clear. Older adults should aim for 6 to 8 glasses of water daily, adjusting for activity level and climate. Hydrating foods like watermelon, cucumbers, and oranges can also contribute to fluid intake. After light exercise, a glass of water combined with a potassium-rich snack such as a banana provides both fluids and electrolytes. Coconut water or diluted fruit juice can be helpful in hot weather or after sweating. Even small, steady sips are more effective than large amounts at once, keeping the body consistently balanced. Water is not just a beverage. It is a form of daily medicine, a safeguard against weakness, and a quiet promise of strength. To choose hydration is to choose steadiness over spasm, rest over disruption, and vitality over decline. It is the most powerful, most important gift anyone can give to the body, a choice that turns ordinary days into opportunities for freedom, energy, and peace. In the end, hydration is not just the number one food against cramps, it is the foundation upon which all other choices depend. After exploring the 8 foods that help prevent leg cramps and strengthen aging legs, one truth stands above all. Health is not a matter of luck. It is a matter of daily choices. The stories of seniors from Ohio to Provence, from California to Copenhagen, remind us that small steps, an egg in the morning, a banana before bed, a glass of water at each meal can transform restless nights into peaceful sleep and turn weakness into steadiness. The lesson is clear. Greek yogurt offers protein and calcium that preserve muscles. Sweet potatoes restore balance with potassium and magnesium. Spinach delivers the minerals that soothe nerves and relax muscles. Salmon adds protein and omega-3 seconds that fight inflammation and improve circulation. Nuts and seeds, though tiny, carry minerals and healthy fats that protect muscles and the heart. Eggs repair tissue and shield nerves with their complete protein, vitamin D, and B12. Bananas bring potassium and vitamin B6, keeping muscles and nerves in rhythm. And hydration, the foundation of it all. ensures that every nutrient can do its job. Each of these foods carries not only nutrients but also meaning. They show that aging does not have to mean decline. It can mean wisdom, tradition, and the grace of living with awareness. They show that food is not just fuel, it is memory, medicine, and the power to stay independent. So here is the takeaway. Health is built meal by meal, sip by sip, habit by habit. No single food will erase cramps overnight, but together these choices create resilience, energy, and freedom. The fear of waking in pain can be replaced by the confidence of knowing that the body, when cared for, responds with strength. Now, the next step belongs to you. Which of these foods will you start with today? Will it be a banana with breakfast, a glass of water before bed, or maybe a handful of almonds this afternoon? Share your thoughts in the comments. We want to hear your story. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe to our channel so you never miss another lesson that can bring comfort and vitality to your life. By staying with us, you'll continue to discover simple, powerful ways to care for your body and mind. Thank you for watching. May your legs carry you steadily, your nights be restful, and your days filled with strength and joy. Wishing you a beautiful day ahead, full of energy, peace, and every good thing you deserve.